Welcome back. Get ready to turn on dark mode. We're here to talk working in IT, video games, tech, and everything outside the 9 to 5. I'm one of your hosts, Taylor Floyd Muse.
And I'm Keegan Lassard.
Nice. So, right before this, I literally stopped playing the new Call of Duty Warzone to record this.
Wait, what's that?
It's the new Battle Royale thing they got just released today. I came home from work and downloaded it immediately just so I could get a couple matches in before we played so I could talk about it. And after 2 matches, which we lost both, I had so much fun in each of them. I was like, I didn't want to leave. I wanted to keep going. I was playing with a couple of friends, but it is nice. Like, I finally think
When
I
did they
found
announce this?
It's been announced like since the new Call of Duty came out. It just only recently got the release date and then came out. But yeah, I mean, I've been looking forward to it for a while because everybody was so pumped about Black Ops 4's Battle Royale, and that turned out to be not so great because the whole meme about it was that you'd be shooting guys with their armor and it makes that little hit marker noise when you hit armor and it goes ting 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 ting, so that you would literally play this game
really?
and only be hearing tinks because nobody would die because there's armor was just never a balanced amount, so you just shoot anybody ting 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 ting, and then you die immediately. I was like, all right, this isn't fun. So this one capitalizes on that, but I'm not going to explain how a battle royale goes because a lot of people have played Fortnite, but the quirks about this one are that when you die, instead of like being done like you are in PUBG or getting revived when your teammate grabs your like card and brings you to a hub in like Apex, and then Fortnite copied that, you get dragged to a prison cell. Like you get technically captured by the enemy. You get dragged to a prison cell,
Okay.
and now you're in this like camp. And then you are spectating 2 people 1v1 fight. And then when it's your turn, if you win the fight, you get back into the match. If you lose, your teammate now has to go buy you back in. And if you die, if everybody gets wiped, then technically the people that haven't gotten a chance to 1v1 fight can come back and go in. But if they lose that, then you guys are all done. So
Like, what's the point of doing? That seems like it would just take forever to do a match. Like, how long are the matches?
well, we spent a half hour, which is no longer than playing a PUBG or Fortnite match. Like, those things can go anywhere from like 20 minutes to like 40. Like, I've definitely
Okay,
played
so it doesn't
PUBG
really- it
matches
doesn't
that
really-
were long.
It doesn't really make it go longer than a normal match.
It didn't
Because in my
seem
mind,
like
that
it.
would.
But I mean, to be fair, I only got in 2 matches in around an hour, and I didn't win either of them. So like, it could go on for a bit longer. But now I'm not sure if, like, let's say you're in a final team, like it's your team versus the other team, and they haven't died at all yet. Obviously, when they die, they're not going to have anybody 1v1. So I don't know when the cutoff is. You know what I mean? But like,
I feel like that would get bored. Yeah. feel like
it's
that would get
it's
boring,
pretty
just waiting.
cool though, because instead of just sitting there spectating your friends, you get to fight someone to get back in. And now if you lose that, now you got to spectate. So it puts a lot of pressure on it. So like, we're in there like clutching the stuff up. We're like shaking, like, oh, like this is it. Like it puts all this pressure on it. So like, I don't know. I just think the social aspect is fun. But another thing, it's not like the usual 100 players because they went with this weird choice of teams of 3, like Apex Legends did. There's 150 players in the match, so they went with 50 teams of 3, which, I mean, the fact that there's 150 people in it doesn't bother me. It's the fact that you can only do 3-man squads. Like, that is the maximum. It's not like Apex where they literally launched with only 3 squads and you couldn't do solo queue at all. It was so annoying. This one is like you can do up to 3. So like, let's say you have like 2 people and you don't want to fill, you can go in it with 2. But I just wish that you could do up to 4 because
Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't allow that. That's pretty much a standard.
yeah, it's really dumb. So my friend Brett was trying to tell me that PUBG, which is like the first really popular battle royale, they came out and had 4-man squads, but their most popular one as of recent is 3. And he's like, they're probably trying to copy that, but it's like, you should at least have the option for 4, because now people are, that 4th friend in the friend group is going to get cut out, and they're going to be like, well, what do I do? Like, if my friends are playing, I'm not going to be able to fit in there.
I just don't get like are they really saving that much like time developing or like optimizing the game by not allowing 4-man squads?
What I've noticed though is that through their launch of this game, they have built this game in such an like DevOps mindset where it's just like build fast and like fail forward. Like they are literally just releasing the bare minimum, and it's just like, here, play, and we're gonna like update it every single week with new shit. And that's what they've done. Like they launched with 2v2 gunfight, and from the start people were like, we want 3 at least because we have that our extra friend that can never play. 2 months later they implemented that. So it's like, I don't know, they keep doing this. So right now they said they are at the moment going to launch with 3, but I wouldn't put it past them to put 4 later. But it's just like, it is March. This game came out in, I think, October. So we are already 5 months into its lifespan, 7 months away from the next Call of Duty, and this just came out. But it's free. So what people are kind of thinking,
okay, that's cool,
is that you can, like, it's, I should say, let me clarify, it is free as its own standalone game. So let's say you own Call of Duty already, you just have to download an additional like update, and now you have it. Now if you don't own Call of Duty Modern Warfare, you can download the whole game of Warzone for free, but it's still like the size of a full game because it is one. So
okay,
people are thinking that they're going to continue support for this past the next Call of Duty, and it might even integrate into it, even though it's developed by a different company. Because currently, all of your progress in Warzone carries over to normal multiplayer play. So team deathmatch, search and destroy. So if you're leveling your character up in Warzone, you're leveling your character up in multiplayer. And all of your loadouts carry over. So when you come into the normal battle royale, you're going to go and you're going to loot weapons. But they have a crate drop. You know how they have those in other games where they drop the crate and there's like a chance for loot? The crate drops in this game just allow you to pick one of your 10 pre-made classes. So now when I'm playing this, I'm sitting here like, oh, I can basically set what I want my legendary drops to be. And I have to like rethink about how I'm playing Call of Duty because all of my things are normally set for like close quarters run and gun. But like I'm on a large map and I got to snipe and I got to shoot long distance. So I got to start thinking differently. And I'm like trying to panic organize in my like couple minutes I'm going to play before we record it. But like there's so much potential and I'm actually really excited to keep playing it.
Honestly, I didn't know anything about this. So when you said you were going to play it, I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But like it literally just went right over my head of like it's just another Call of Duty thing.
Mm-hmm.
But are you saying that I can download this for free on my PC or Xbox?
Yeah.
And crossplay with you?
Crossplay is still a thing. I mean, you're gonna still be able to play it on your PC. Like you should play it on the PC first to try it, and then if it doesn't run well, then toss it on the Xbox. But yeah, we can play. So I was definitely gonna be like, when you give me any sort of opposition, bro, it's free, and you should try it out. So I don't know, like they fixed that whole tink 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 crap. Like you have a normal amount of armor, so.
Okay.
People that are used to like really fast, like people are done, time to kill in Call of Duty. That's not going to happen in here unless you don't have shields. Shields add like another, like probably person's worth of kills. So it's like longer than just, it's like, and then they're dead. So like training that in my head, I was like ready to move on from a guy just from like habit. But I'm like, wait, I only broke his shield. I got to shoot more. So I don't know.
Right.
But it's a lot,
and I'm tempted.
More fun.
I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, you should at least give it a shot because I downloaded Divinity and I had to pay for that. So you can do this for free.
My thing is like, kudos on them for how they I think that's a smart business move. Like I can respect that where they're like, look, we're still gonna make Call of Duty games, but we're just utilizing this release and the money you guys are giving us and supporting us playing this game
Mm-hmm.
right now. We'll support this a shit ton, obviously. And then we'll even release more content and then we'll integrate it somehow. We'll figure like I think their fail forward and figure it out kind of mentality is gonna come in a clutch with this game type.
Yeah.
And it's gonna complicate all their competitions are like, well, like I bet you Battlefield and those types of games are gonna be like, well, shit, like
Because
I don't
like
know
Battlefield came out with
how.
their battle royale, and like that fell under the radar quick. Like I
Yeah,
think Call of Duty's coming out like fighting. Like they've already implemented like some unique gimmicks to the Warzone. And actually, let me also say this: when I say Warzone, this includes two game modes. There's a thing called Plunder, which is like I haven't tried this yet, but to my understanding, like it was more like you're in this area and they have like these contracts and you're supposed to go do these things live and collect the most cash. So it's all about looting, which they kind of had that in another game. I think Fortnite had like a temporary mode like that where it was about who got the most loot, but that's like a
seems
subset.
kind of dull.
And then the main battle royale where is what I explained with the 150 players and stuff. But like I think the fact that they made it free is a huge plus just because I mean
Yeah,
they are trying to gun for Fortnite. Like everybody's gonna be like, oh, is Call of Duty the next Fortnite killer? Because that's what they said about Apex, and then Apex didn't do it. I don't have an answer for that because I know I'm gonna get asked that. Like, oh, is it the next Fortnite killer? I don't know, but Call of Duty is consistently the best-selling paid game every year. Like unless a Rockstar game comes out, so I
pretty
feel like
accurate.
if um if Call of Duty paid is the best or best selling game, the free version that is standalone, because I'm pretty sure for Black Ops 4 you had to pay the full price of the game just to play Blackout, and that was not worth it.
Yeah, you did.
So
Yeah,
they had like a free weekend or something, but like that wasn't. And then you got it in a humble bundle for cheap, so you could have played, but it honestly wasn't worth it. This one, the fact that it is
oh
like
my god, I forgot I even
on a
got that.
yeah, like that went over the or under the radar quick. But the fact that you can buy this or not buy this, download this completely standalone is honestly going to get a lot of people into it, and I'm looking forward to where it
100%.
goes. So yeah, that's my
That's
little
cool.
rant on it. Like, I honestly didn't expect to like it that much, but I was just sitting there taking it in like, yo, I'm having a ton of fun right now. We lost twice, and I'm sitting here like, I don't even care. Like, I enjoyed that. So it's a lot
I'm
more
like
quicker
not
pace
super
than,
surprised though.
yeah. I mean, I already like Call of Duty games, so
You always downplay like your level of like hype for what's gonna happen with the first person shooter, like new game mode. You're like, oh, it's probably gonna be pretty fun. And then like 30 minutes will go by and I'll get like all caps text from you saying it's lit as like you're just like going
yeah.
to
But
town on like all the
to be fair, that's what you did when you got your like whole you got a like a giant pack of like Paradox strategy games, and you were like, oh, like
oh
yeah, I'm pretty
yeah.
excited. Like I got like 30 new games to try out, and then I'm getting all caps text like, yo, this game is making me think super hard, and like I'm actually being challenged, and I'm like, all right, Keegan, you have fun over
Yeah.
there, and that's how you are with me when I like, oh, I'm doing these Twitch movements and having fun and like co-op, and you're just like, there he goes again. So it's kind of funny when they meet because now I'm playing a
yeah.
strategy game and I'm kind of enjoying it, and there's be times where I might not get that excited, but I'll be like, oh, like that was really cool, and then you'll come over to like and play the first person game. You're like, oh, like I'm having fun, and it's like when those worlds meet, it's funny.
Uh I didn't think I was gonna like Overwatch, and then when I finally played it, I actually did enjoy it. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you enjoy Invisible Man? Did you end up seeing it though?
Oh yeah, I went this past weekend. I enjoyed
Oh,
it.
okay, good.
I like it. Like it was a little bit corny in some areas, but like I guess that kind of comes with any horror movie because there'll be times you're like, oh, come
Yeah.
on. But the way she acted in certain situations was just like the epitome of when you're in a horror movie. Like, why are you doing that? Like, honestly, I don't
Oh.
understand some of her moves. Like, If
It's an
I
interesting
knew
take.
that there was an invisible person constantly around me, that like, okay, that door just opened and I like know that he's somewhere around there, like I'm definitely not going over there. Like, are we gonna go a full spoiler mode into this? Should we?
uh,
I think
sure.
we should, because there's some
It's
things I
been out for a
wanna.
couple weeks.
Yeah.
It's
So
been out for a couple weeks.
disclaimer to listeners and viewers: we are going to go full spoiler mode into this, and we will drop a link in the description to where you should skip ahead to avoid those. Now that that's been
Little
said,
chop or
little
two.
bit of chop.
Little chop.
Yeah, I don't know. I've kind of cut those out of some edits, but if you ever see Keegan and I go like this on camera with like a downward motion, now that's like, okay, we're going. This is from this point. I don't know. It's just Keegan loves doing this chop motion. All right. There was times where like when she has the phone upstairs, like, or his phone is upstairs and he's luring her up
Yeah.
there. Just no.
Yeah.
No. Why would you go up there? You don't know
Leave the
his
house.
motives. You don't know if he's trying to kill you. Like, I guess she kind of knew he wouldn't fully hurt her, but she kind of didn't know that for sure until she was like, oh, I'm pregnant. Like, that was her turning moment. Like, oh, like, he will not fuck with me. But, like, I'm not going into a dark attic home alone with an invisible dude that I know is in the house with me. Like,
Dude,
and this isn't
that
even like
attic
demon
scene-
stuff where you don't know how they are. This is like, this is a
Yeah.
human. So I know that he can do the things I'm doing and he might already be there. Like,
right.
I don't know. I was just like, girl, you kind of wilding out here. But
The whole attic scene was like, why are we here, guys? Like,
Yeah.
let's. This isn't smart.
but let me say two
Oh.
things I really did like. I
Okay.
really liked how much they focused on like empty areas, because anytime they showed that, I just took that as he is standing there, even though there were no
Yeah.
jump scares that came of it. And I liked that they literally had you on edge all the time. Where like you're like
throughout the whole
is it
movie.
gonna happen? The movie is silent because I went to see it with my girlfriend and she's not like big into that. So I told her as a warning, like usually when it's silent, you know something's gonna come. Not in this movie. Like it might have been silent for like a full 3 minutes and nothing ever came of it. And I'm like, you guys are toying with us. Like, yo, stop. But like, I really like what they did there with the like, okay, they're showing this corner, they're hyper focused on it. And I was like looking for like, are they making us try to notice subtle differences? Like, okay, is the clothing moved a little bit when they pan back, but like I
Right.
couldn't notice anything like that. So I was just like, okay, like they're just showing him be there. And one part where that came into super huge like foreshadowment is when she goes to meet with her sister and they show the empty chair across the table hard
Yeah.
before they start and I'm like, dude, he's there. So when she started saying shit to her about, I'm like, girl, you need to shut up. And I did not expect the whole knife and just like the whoosh. I was like,
Yeah.
yo, everybody in
It
the
was-
theater made an audible gasp. I was over there freaking out. I'm like, yeah, that was savage. But like looking back on it, I'm like, they did foreshadow that he was there because they showed the chair at length.
Showed the empty chair.
And
Yeah.
I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I did. That one threw me for a loop. I didn't even like comprehend the empty chair.
Yeah.
Like, and I was just like, I just sat there and I was like, okay.
Yeah, you're just like, oh,
I guess we're doing this now.
Yeah. But I will say the second thing I really liked is I thought I forget what's the actress's name. Do you know?
Elizabeth Moss.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought that
I think.
she did a very good like portrayal of someone that would like be going crazy from nobody believing them about something that you just like cannot explain. And
And just domestic abuse and
yeah, like, and the fact that like, I mean, at one point she did have affection for him, so she wasn't kind of just like full, like, I mean, she was at her wit's end at the beginning of the movie, but she wasn't like full on like hatred towards him, I guess. She was just kind of like, yo, you need to stop. Like, everybody thinks I'm crazy. But
Yeah.
I gotta give kudos to the makeup team because they had her looking rough, man. Like there were some scenes where
Yeah.
I was just like, wow. Like she has been through some shit. Like, and they made it look like it. So I don't
She
know.
definitely plays those parts really well. Like her role in Handmaid's Tale, if you've ever watched that,
I haven't yet.
she plays that part really well.
Okay.
I don't know what I think she's just really drawn to these parts where she has to play these like tragically
Mm-hmm.
abused women, I guess. But man,
So
that movie was great.
I thought it was a TV show.
I'm just on my Invisible Man, but the TV show
Oh,
too,
okay,
it
okay.
was great too.
I do have some questions for you about what you thought about some things. Um, you know when she does pour the paint on him, and like, all right, that was a really cool scene, a little bit of a jump scare. Now she's walking, and like, he's no longer dripping. First of all, I call bullshit.
It would be. I thought it should the effect of that should have lasted definitely longer. Like, cause you think about like that's I definitely had the same thought during the movie.
Okay.
Where like even if he did wipe it off, how is he gonna be still completely invisible? I really wish that like maybe it would have been like he got led to out of the house.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, I would have been like, okay, you really don't know where he went, and he could have came back later and actually been fully washed off or whatever.
Yeah.
But the sink thing was definitely like,
Like I was like, that's
did he really get it all
questionable.
off?
Now here's my second
Yeah.
question for you. This is more on like your theory of it, like because they don't really fully explain how this happens. You know how when she unmasks him for the first time, it's the brother. And I called that only just before she did it. I'm like, it's not gonna be him, it's gonna be the brother. And
Okay.
that was only because previously he had just like revealed that he was in on it. And he was like, you need to do this. Like, and that was the first time where he was like, okay, like I'm working with him. But
Right.
my question to you is when she was chasing him and she was like, oh, he's going to the house. And she calls her buddy and warns him to go like save his daughter. And then suddenly he's at the house way before her. And she's like nowhere to be seen for like literally 10 minutes because he goes in there and he starts like going for the girl. And then they have the whole full fight scene with the guy. And then like finally she busts in. Was that where they swapped? Because he had been messing with her before because later in the movie he confirms it by saying surprise, right? So like he was there.
Yeah.
Are there other scenes where it's the brother or is that where they swapped? Did he somehow drive to the house, chain himself up, and then that's when the brother comes in? Because he gets there way before her.
Interesting. Like a little prestige kind of switcheroo
Yeah,
on like when is the right brother in and when isn't.
exactly.
I didn't even think about that really. That theory makes logical sense if that's the case. Now I'm sure there's like things that maybe he did to her
Mhm.
in that time period where it's the different person that would have been like, well, why would he mess with her that way? But I would have to like rewatch the entire movie
Yeah.
to like I'd have to like keep track on like a notepad. Okay, like this is like you
Like
know what
I
mean?
do want to watch it again just to kind of like with that in mind that there was two of them because the entire movie I'm thinking,
Yeah.
oh, it's just him. But then towards the end, I was like, oh wait, it's not. So just to see how
Maybe
they're
that's
messing with them.
and see like when they switch in and out.
Yeah, just like on your own time, think about who might it be. Or if it is just like at the last minute he swapped. Because at the beginning, the dude, the brother, I don't know if this was part of the act, but he acted like he didn't even know that he was doing this. And either he was playing that well or the brother hadn't reached out to him yet. But then
Yeah.
they also didn't reveal immediately that he saw the dead body. But like, whose was that? Because when I saw the
Yeah.
brother, I was like, oh, he did all of it. But then that would debunk the whole, like, he got there way first. And then when they're like, okay, hold on, he's still alive. I'm like, dude, who was the dead body? And I don't know if they ever really addressed that.
I don't think they did. And honestly, it just proves that like horror movies now are just like quality films. I'm sure there's a ton that I didn't watch because I didn't like horror movies, and now I'm a new person apparently, and I like enjoy some of them. But that whole movie, like, I don't know, I didn't really feel like I felt like it was more of a suspense, even though it was like a horror. But
Well, the thing is, like, you like it when they combine elements of horror movies with the kind of movies you already like, which is like those thought-provoking, mind-bending twist kind of movies. Because
right,
your gateway movies were Get Out and Us from our boy
yeah,
Jordan Peele, and we both really like those movies, but they both have wild twists, and it's on the surface level without the horror element, a really cool story. Now, this one
yeah,
was a little bit more straightforward in like, okay, it's just a guy with an invisible suit messing with his ex, but like for whatever reason, because he's manipulative. But then like when you look deeper, there's a lot of like different things going on, and there was a little twist in there, and then like I don't know. But at the point where she's going to the house, and we have in the back of our minds that like, oh, she has the suit there. I was going to my girlfriend like, okay, what is she gonna do here? And then she just straight up goes like, oh, she's gonna kill him. And I'm like, is she? Like, I wasn't sure if she was gonna do it.
you weren't fully invested in that she was hated him yet.
I wouldn't say that. I just didn't know if she like had the guts to go ahead and just dice him up. But like I also
Just
wasn't
go.
really thinking about how she was technically gonna stage it like she did. But she
Yeah, that
basically
too.
just wanted confirmation. And like I think that's why, because she went there not knowing if he actually did stuff. She didn't know if he had a whole
That's true.
angle. That's why I was like, what is
That's
she
true.
gonna do? Then she got confirmation and she was like, be right back. I'm like, I'm about to end this man's whole career. Like, I don't know. But
Well, because yeah, she's got to have that sanity check.
yeah.
And
I mean, I would definitely would want to know too if it was him or the bro. Like you can't just live the rest of your life not knowing.
right,
So
man, if that technology existed, this
but I also did like how they showed like a cool zoom in of the suit. So like you could kind of see like what the fake or imaginary technology was, and how it's just like a bunch of little micro cameras and stuff, and they'd like all set into the suit and like reflect the light. Because if that's how invisibility ever did become a thing, like that's how I would imagine it. Like a full body suit with cameras on it. Like I thought that was pretty
yeah.
dope. But there
Hopefully, nobody
was
makes that.
there was another yeah, hopefully not. There was another thing that I thought it was like the willing suspension of disbelief, where it was kind of like I can't really resonate with that. She stabs his suit right with the little pen, and his
Yep.
suit is tweaking. It's like shifting and bugging, and you can see him, but it never did when it could have mattered. Anytime anybody else was around, he was invisible again magically. It kills
Yeah.
them. Now he's back to tweaking. And I'm like,
Yeah,
yo,
that's
this
true.
is too convenient.
Maybe it's you see it tweaking from her perspective, but when she's about to kill somebody, it's so subtle that they don't even notice it.
Potentially.
But in her perspective, she's paying close attention to where she's stabbed or where he was, that she notices the slight little glimpses.
I could see that being the case, but like there was a time where like the guy that he shoots in the knee before running off, he's like on the ground, and he's seen him now, and he goes, "Don't do anything crazy or stupid." So like he now is
Yeah.
like acknowledging the fact that it's there. But this also kind of ties into the fact that I think that they did a swap with the brother at that point where he gets to the house, because the suit was no longer glitching when he was in the house ever.
Wow, good point.
So that's
That would
where
make sense.
he went to the house, ditched the suit, tied himself up, And then, oh yeah, I was here the whole time. So, because like that, my girlfriend also said that too. She was like, wait, why is the suit all of a sudden magically perfect now that he's at the house? And I'm like, that's bullshit. But then that probably is why. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. That movie's
Great movie.
crazy.
And if you've just tuned back in, we're done with Invisible Man review, and you should go see it.
You should go see it. Even if you're not a huge horror fan, it has, as IGN would say, it has a little bit of something for everyone.
Yep.
But
exactly.
yeah, that was fun. Fun stuff. So, I don't know. We might want to make a segment on this show where it's Keegan leaks. Or we just have Keegan react to the dumb leaks that have occurred for the week. Because I got another one that came out recently.
All right. Hit me with them.
I saw some leak where they were like, oh, the iOS 14 code leaked. And
iPhones.
Yeah. They're like, they're gonna call it the iPhone 9, or there's gonna be an iPhone 9. And it's supposed to be like targeted at people who still haven't upgraded from the 6 or 7. Because they don't want to go for the full screen phone or whatever. Either way, they're supposed to bring back Touch ID, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, they are gleaning this off of nothing. And I don't know. It was hilarious. And I told you, and you were, I could see your head shaking through the text because I was texting you on Slack.
Let's break down the fact that if that is the case, and they release a 9, which doesn't make sense, and that's their target, they have to realize why those target audience of the iPhone 6 or 7 haven't upgraded. It's probably not because of whatever features. It's probably because they just don't want to buy a new phone, or they're happy with what it is.
Yeah.
So why would they? It's silly to target some audience that clearly doesn't upgrade every year. So
well, like,
why spend
their iPhone SE was kind of a popular phone. So people were thinking, or there's been like, I don't know, probably more leaks where they're going to be bringing back like another iPhone SE, and they don't know if they're going to call it the iPhone SE 2 or what, but they were like, it's going to be, you don't have to react just yet.
Okay.
It's supposed to take more of a form factor of like an iPhone 6 or like whatever that form factor, rather than the iPhone like 5, which is what the SE was. But there's also been like, oh, it might be like a miniature iPhone 10. So obviously nobody knows anything. But there's also talk about like how the iPhone 12 is supposed to have Touch ID in the screen. So that was people being like, we want Touch ID back. And they're like, okay, well, we're going to make essentially our budget phone, that's the SE, be the 9, which I think is a really weird choice if they did go that way. But they skip from 8 to X, which is 10. So like, let's cover all bases. But then it's going to be really weird when you look at the iPhone timeline and it's like 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 9, 12. Like, I don't know.
And then they're going to skip 13, right? Because you can't have an iPhone 13.
Have they? What is Samsung on right now? Because they skip from 10 to 20. That's right. They're just not doing the teens. So I don't know. Maybe they'll skip 13. I know that my dad told me, or I think it was my dad, when he was like in school that had lockers, they skipped number 13 and 666
Elevators
because they have
skip
negative connotations. Do elevators skip 13?
Elevators.
I don't think I've ever noticed that.
Yeah, there's no 13th floor.
False. My building has a 13th floor. I actually know that because on the elevator today, I remember somebody, so I have a weird bay of elevators where there's 8, but you scan your card and you can choose your floor. And I almost never share an elevator with a stranger because it'll just call them a free elevator and they go up to theirs. But if you there's 2 scanners. If you scan at the same time and one opens up, it's probably just going to queue you with that person. And today I got queued with a 13. So, false.
Okay. Well,
you did say most elevators though, so yeah. Mine's just one of the outliers. But I honestly have never noticed one where it's not there. but I guess I've never gone to a 13th floor, so there's no
Yeah.
reason for me to
I don't
now.
know.
I don't go in the elevator and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, it's not there.
You're going to now.
I will now that you mentioned it, 100%. Like, thank you for that. I'm gonna walk into every elevator and start looking right at the thing. But I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, iPhone 9 is coming out. You got any leaks for me you read that make you shake your head in disappointment,
See, the
disgust?
thing is, once I see a leak, I just disregard it. Like, as soon as I realize it's not accurate, I'll throw it in the trash can. Like, I read one today about Marvel, and it
Oh,
was
what
like,
they saying? What they
John,
saying? Let's take it as facts.
well, they said that John Krasinski got an interview with Marvel Studios. And the reason why, as soon as I read that, I stopped reading because I was like, they've been saying this since like Iron Man coming out, that John
Damn.
Krasinski was going to be looked at for like the Mr. Fantastic and Fantastic Four. Now that Marvel has Fox,
I didn't know that.
they've been trying to recast it. And so the leaks said that there was an interview with John Krasinski and that was it. And then everyone jumped on, oh, he's going to be Mr. Fantastic, because that would be pretty damn good casting, in my opinion.
That would be excellent. When you said, because I was trying to think, who would he be? And then when you said that, I was like, yeah, there it is.
Yep. And there's a Instagram like graphic artist that I follow that Marvel like has repeatedly used for like online media and posters that he does like Photoshop for. And his spare time, he'll like take celebrities he thinks would be good roles in the comic universe, and they look crazy good. And one time he did one of John Krasinski and Emily Blunt as Invisible Woman and Captain Mr. Fantastic. And
I was gonna ask, like, yo, would his wife play Invisible Woman though? Because that would be a nice mashup.
It really would. I mean, if you have a chance to go look that up, I'll send it to you. But I don't have any other leaks. I'm trying to stay cool. Sometimes they're exciting, but it's just like there's a level of disappointment when you find out that there's no credibility to it. And that's my main, like, kudos if you break a story, but if you have zero source or zero holding within that, then it's not really a story. It's just rumors and it's boring.
Yeah, that's fair.
Especially in nerd world, we get disappointed as it is with video game movies, and they can never do a Fantastic Four movie correctly. All these things are just, we're disappointed all the time. So
you know what I was thinking about though? Like, we complain about these leaks and stuff, but like, think about how difficult or like nerve-wracking it would be to work at one of these companies, like a high-end tech company or like video game company, and you got to keep all this shit under wraps. Like, you can't say anything. You probably got to sign NDAs and all that stuff. And like, you go home to you might have like a gamer wife, right? And she's like, oh, like, you work at Sony, you got any news on the PS5 for me? It's like, sorry, like, I can't tell you anything. And like,
as he like logs into his demo PS5,
yeah,
no,
like the
no, I don't have any news for you.
Oh man, like how does that even work? Cause like, even so with like I don't know, you working at Google out in Silicon Valley, and they're doing some new work on, like, recently they just updated Google Maps. Like, let's say you got some exciting news about Google Maps, which isn't like riveting information, but like, you're the kind of dude that's like, I gotta tell someone. Like, you gotta keep that under wraps.
And the barista at Starbucks is like, yo, chill, I don't need to know.
Exactly. Like, but then he goes, turns around, and then just tweets it to everyone, even though I don't care, but like, tweet. So
the lady at Starbucks is like, some guy ordering a caramel macchiato was like, Google Maps is getting updated, so that's cool. Sends it out to tweet. He's like, shit, I shouldn't have told the lady at Starbucks.
You trying to get a job in Silicon Valley then?
No, we've been over this. No,
I always love joking about that because I love California, just like going to visit because of the nice weather and like the hills and stuff. And I'm like, Silicon Valley would be cool to work there.
The hills and stuff.
The hills and stuff, man.
No.
Like, I live in Chicago. You exit the city, there's nothing. It is flat, boring. You go to somewhere like LA or San Francisco or like cool cities in the Southern California, and then you like leave the city and there's mountains and there's hills, like, and you go to the Pacific Northwest and they got stuff like that. So I don't know. I always just be like, oh, let's move there, but I don't think I actually would.
I don't think I could, dude. Like, Can you imagine leaving our like just like career wise, like trying to apply out there would be a nightmare.
I didn't even attempt to when I like left college. Like I just like shut that part off. Like I was just like, it's not for me.
And it's not that I couldn't work at those companies. It's a matter of like I just know that the IT space in the Midwest and a lot of other places, you don't have a ton of competition, whereas everyone wants to work in Silicon Valley.
Yeah,
So you're competing with, hundreds, if not thousands of applicants to work
it's a
over these
very
prestigious
saturated
companies.
market. It's
Yeah.
very saturated
And therefore it drives down your salary. Whereas
in a very expensive city.
super expensive city. So I don't know. I've just never really considered it as like feasible. Like, even though I have probably one of the most lucrative like career paths in this day and age.
But here's where I get kind of like fuzzy. Or not fuzzy, but like there's like room for almost interpretation. Silicon Valley is a very saturated market, but that's where a lot of big, cool tech companies are. And a lot of them are getting more and more offices across the country. But like,
Mm-hmm.
you're not about to just go to like Indiana and then like find a tech company there. Like, they are literally in like the bigger cities, like, New York, Silicon Valley area. Like, there's stuff starting to pop up in Utah, apparently, which is not a big city, but like it's
And
being
Salt
called the
Lake.
Silicon Slopes. It's like around I think I talked about this before. It's around like the BYU campus and stuff. They're starting to put the
Mm-hmm.
unicorns like which is an interesting term like for a big tech company called unicorns.
I kind of
Like
forgot that they
Google,
call them that.
it's funny. Google and other companies are starting to go there. But I was talking to someone at work and they were like, the tech scene in Chicago is like deceptively small. Like, I work at a company that's like, it's got a SaaS product, the software as a service. That's the first like forefront. That's what we're selling. And I came from a company that they're they were more on the healthcare, and then they just had like some tech things. And like just the entire dynamic is different. So I feel like if you're looking for stuff like in software as a service, SaaS products, you definitely are kind of limited to searching more in those saturated areas, because you're going to come to like, let's say you're looking at Chicago. There's probably like 10 big software companies here. And then there's like other startups and like other things that have tech industries or tech departments, but like that's not their forefront. It's mainly just dominated
Okay.
by like financial institutions and other like, business as the forefront. Like the stuff that I don't really have much of an interest in, healthcare and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, I guess if you're graduating and your goal is to I want to work for a purely technology company, you're definitely pigeonholing yourself to I want to work for Google's, Facebook's, or just like app companies in general that have a major supported app or software that's what they do. But to say Chicago is deceptively small in the IT tech industry is, in my opinion, silly because
that's not what I said though. I didn't say the
it's
IT tech industry, because IT is pretty much a part of any industry, or not any industry. Well, kind of any company now, because you need that to stay afloat in today's modern age.
okay.
I'm talking about tech companies. So like, I don't even know where to begin. Like, you could anything similar to like a Google or a Facebook. So like, I don't know,
Right.
Salesforce, Spot Hero. Those are all little applications. Like, those kind of companies are deceptively small in Chicago, not like IT as a general concept.
It's true to an extent, but like it's weird because now we're in a time where you could be working for a shoe company, but yet you are working in the modern day. These are the tech things you need to be working inside of, which is AWS, Microsoft Azure, automation, and you're working within a DevOps team, but you're working for a shoe company. Or in my line of business, I'm working for a media company and I'm working for an entertainment company. Or so it's weird because we're getting away from the time where business and tech sometimes didn't overlap, and now it's we always overlap, and therefore if you want to work in tech, it doesn't now only mean you have to work for Microsoft,
Hmm.
Apple, or the main ones. You could be working for Nike and be on the leader or the show front of either they use SAP for their warehousing. If you want to know everything the ins and outs of SAP before you try to apply for that SaaS of a company, which that sentence sounds fun to say. Um, you could go work for Nike or Caterpillar, which is a manufacturing company. Like they do mechanical or not mechanical, major. What am I trying to say?
You'll find the
Either way,
words.
you can work for those companies that use those softwares and get experience in there that way before you go work for those companies. So it's just it's hard to say that like these market spaces are low when you could like look at the bigger opportunity behind it. Where if you let's say your career path is I went to a Midwest school like we did, I graduate with a CS degree. I'm not 100% confident behind my skills to work in Silicon Valley where I have to literally compete with thousands of other newly graduates like myself that and I'm not like
They
MIT
started
level.
coding at birth.
Yeah. That they came out robots. So let's say that, and then I'm looking at least from what I've seen, I'm looking at Kansas City, I'm looking at Chicago, maybe even Portland, which is still a pretty big market. Looking at these subsets, right? And you could easily find companies that will invest money to make you to the point where you are either expert or certified. You can look for those opportunities, and where it may not align with where you thought you would go, or you're not immediately this huge developer making the biggest, newest apps. Going those routes has now opened up bigger opportunities and made bigger snowball effect of gaining experience or gaining actual critical change within a company. And I think honestly, finding those locations first out of college is more beneficial than just like, I'm moving. You could move to Silicon Valley and do it, but just going there right away, you might get burnt. You might like hate IT.
Yeah,
Like
that's for
it,
sure.
to me, there's a double-edged sword to doing that. And everyone's career path is gonna be different, but I couldn't do that.
I mean, we kind of touched on how we weren't built for the whole startup CEO lifestyle in Silicon Valley in a previous episode, but like what you're saying about how a lot of companies have, well, pretty much all kind of need it now, a tech IT focused department. Um, I believe that there's kind of like a shift in focus and value to that department depending on how you began. Meaning like for example, I was a consultant previously. So I hopped around to a couple of different companies and I kind of at each one, we were just a resource. Being a consultant, we were the
Okay.
IT department, right? And those companies had their own developers usually because I was in QA. So I would kind of see how they work, but like because their product wasn't software on the forefront, the software was helping them. It was almost like an afterthought or like you need to do this for us because this helps, it is helping their main mission, which might be
Okay.
healthcare. It might be like some college bookstore, like I don't know, like brick and mortar things. Um, but coming to a company where the software is the product, that was the initial vision, like I don't need to prove my value to them and fight for, why I'm important. It's just expected because we're
That's
building
fair.
software. And then now
Yeah.
they're building the rest of the company around that because now we need sales, we need marketing, we need, customer support. But like you essentially kind of needed a dev from the beginning. You needed someone in QA.
Right.
You needed someone with the vision of the entire product. Like I've never made a startup, obviously. So like I don't know how, each one forms a little differently. But I just, in my experience, have felt like I am more valued and don't have to fight for why I should be valued at a company where the tech isn't in question. It's just like that's what we're doing. And all of those companies are in, Silicon Valley or these other saturated areas. Like you could go to New York and you'll find places like Spotify, and like you'll have places that have their second headquarters, across on the other coast, because you need multiple places. But I think that what you're saying about there being more opportunities in tech just because a company has the department is beneficial, because it doesn't just close you off from like, hey, I want to work at a software company and nowhere else. Like, you can open your eyes up to like, well, there are going to be places that don't treat their tech department like less prioritized. Like, they understand the importance. In these companies, though, that is a great stepping stool for the people that might not feel comfortable to go to Silicon Valley, like you said. But like, my mother, when I was leaving college to look for work, asked me, where do you want to work? And she was like, you could check healthcare, you could check I don't know, a finance, like banking institution. And I'm like, Mom, those, their mission statement or like their core product, I have zero interest in. I can't get behind it or really have any like motivation to work there if I'm just like assisting their vision. I want to work at a
Yeah.
company where like the tech is something I'm interested in, or like the product is genuinely like, I feel like I can get behind it, She's like, oh, like I guess I didn't really think about that. But obviously finding that isn't the easiest thing in the world to do.
Yeah. And my dad always kind of taught me that, like, he's like, I could sell anything, but I have to believe in it.
Yeah,
He
you were
works
telling
mostly in
us that
marketing.
before.
Yeah, so that kind of is the same thing where, like, where I'm looking at a job or a career at a company, I have to see where I can a work in it. I believe in what they're making money off of, and C, what can I do to either help improve it, kind of build my resume, and what am I doing that's unique within there? Because if it isn't, I'm just one of the other, like, I don't stand out. And then not necessarily is that you have to stand out, but
I mean, it helps.
go to your next employer and be like, look, like, I came into this company, my last job, and they were at this point. I helped them get to here. And it's now they're doing so much better because of me. And honestly, if you go to Silicon Valley, not to say you can't do anything crazy like that, but chances are you're gonna get there and you're gonna be one of the dudes that, like, hey, I need you to code this. Good, get it done, bring it back. Like, you're not gonna be implementing change over there. It's just it's too massive of a company to you think. At least here's the things, I don't know, but this is just all assumptions. But I would assume if you went to work for Facebook, you're not gonna be like the guy that comes up with the portal or whatever the next thing is. You're going to be the guy that maybe develops the new messenger template pop-up thing and it works and then they deploy it. I just think that sometimes with the smaller markets or the not always first thought of markets, you might find that yes, it isn't the main focus, but going into our new technical age, we can help bring that in. So even if you do find yourself in a company that, like, you like the people you work with, you like the overall drive of the company, but don't quite believe in how they don't prioritize technology, just keep looking for those pockets of where you can put change. Because chances are, even if you are young and just a brand new graduate, sometimes companies will trust you to lead path on new change and big innovative moves. And if you can do that, there's tons of companies that don't run their technology and IT departments well. And they will look for people that know how to implement that change and are young. Because if you're young, it means you're not going to ask as much salary as the 10, 15, 20-year vets. Not to say you don't get paid, but that's just a fact.
Oh, I mean, we've already
And
been over how IT is a nice starting gig. You kind of already
yeah,
know your worth at that
so
point.
yeah, know your worth, and if you improve yourself within a company, you put a lot of change. I mean, in a year or two, if you don't see any bumps or anything like that, then you can look elsewhere. But I don't know. That's why I've been, I've thought about Silicon Valley. I've thought about the major markets, and I just think I have more time to develop. It feels like low risk where I'm at because the IT and tech isn't like the prestigious, it's like not going to Harvard and you're going to your normal, like, university. You don't feel the pressure to be, 100% efficient and to work 60-hour work weeks. Like the balance is great right now where I can develop my skills and eventually maybe get to that point, or work in a bigger market or work internationally as well. So
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
There's a lot of room for growth, like pretty much in any company. Like what you're saying, if you started at Facebook, you would probably be doing some like smaller end work first. Like, I mean, that's pretty much the case with any job. They don't start you off doing everything the first day, like, or at least like the big hitting stuff, unless like you were brought in as like, okay, maybe you are a senior manager or like senior dev, and like they brought you in for this specific big reason. Like if you came in like closer to the entry level or mid level, like you still have to kind of work your way up in importance of
Yeah.
projects. Um, like as they onboard you and you just become more comfortable with the platform. But yeah, I mean, this was always something that was interesting to me, just like finding a place where you, like, I guess what your dad says of like, I have to be able to get behind what they're working on. Like, if you believe in it, like that's huge for me because I just couldn't get behind. Not not to say like I don't believe in healthcare. Like that's obviously important, but like it's not the most riveting thing. You know what I mean? Like I don't
Bernie
wake up.
Sanders rolls. Bernie Sanders is about to beat your ass.
Like I don't wake up like, oh yeah, I really want to talk about like, I don't know, Aetna's healthcare or Blue Cross healthcare, and like I want to go code like their website. Like that just, I don't know, that's not interesting. Or it's like I'd rather, you know, Google, Facebook have cool products, but they're entirely saturated, and I feel like at my current point in my career, that's not where I would be most useful yet. Like maybe that could happen down the road, but again, Silicon Valley is super expensive, and maybe I'd go to the New York headquarters, even though that's super expensive. Like I almost feel like it's less saturated there for at least tech.
Which is so funny.
It is funny. Tech it is less saturated, but that's where you get all the banking, financial, like other things, and that's where
Goldman Sachs.
yeah, like that's where it's like, okay, y'all have fun there. You go trade your stocks. I'll be making code over here, but or testing code at this point, but that's
Yeah.
another thing that I like is a company that you have growth like laterally, like, or I mean, you could do what is that, diagonally, where you're going up but lateral shift. I don't know, but where like I don't have to be stuck in QA forever. Like I could like
Yeah, you could move to
upgrade or
dev.
sidestep to like development or something, or like be a tech lead. You know, like if you're at a company where you really don't have that growth, it's kind of like I don't want to be locked into this forever, or have to feel the need to leave the company in order to do that. You know, so
That's the beauty in working in tech is that it's not a dead end. Like
yeah,
you'll always be able to either, if a company's not giving you what you're needing and you are a good employee, chances are there are at least 10 jobs waiting for you to go interview.
yeah.
So
Well, the funny thing you say
that's a
that
nice
is, I
thing.
felt like I was at a dead end on the first job, but that's just because I hadn't had another job yet. So it was like I was judging everything based on this one first job, and it's like you get a different job, you're like, oh yeah, like maybe it's not the worst thing in
I
the
c
world, you know?
And then you rip that band-aid of like the fact that nobody takes things personally, but
Mm-hmm.
yet you think in your head like, oh, if I submit my 2 weeks notice, they're gonna hate
That's
me.
it. That bridge is
You submit
burnt.
it and they're like, all right, it was a pleasure working with you, dude. Like, good, congrats. I hope the next place works out. And you're like, oh, at the end of the day, I think they realize that it's just business, and it happens all the time. So like, you have to get over that like mindset that like this is an anomaly. It's not. People quit and go to different jobs all the time.
True.
And
It happens.
I mean, we've said it before. If you're not unhappy in a job, there's no reason not to start looking. Like, and let me rephrase that. If you're unhappy in a job and it doesn't seem like there's any give to change, then yeah, like there's no reason you shouldn't be looking
For
at
sure.
that point.
But then I guess don't pull a post college Taylor and only look at a certain subset of jobs. And then when your
Yeah,
best friend over here is like, "Yo, I got something for you here," and I was just like, "I don't know," but I mean, it was a good starting gig. I didn't have to limit myself to software only companies or tech companies like that, but just knowing that you're not locked into that choice, like, or that industry even, because I mean, technically now I'm a part of the research industry because that's like what our software is in that realm of. but like it's pretty much blending that aspect, and I kind of like that. So I'm not just out here like making servers and stuff like that kind of tech, but I don't know.
I went from like a warehousing logistics to healthcare to now entertainment.
Yeah.
So
There's a wide range.
I mean,
it's pretty
that's
exciting.
why whenever someone, that's why when like your example of I want to work in a software base, it's like, well, you can if that's what you're, I mean, obviously you're enjoying it a lot, but like if you're striking out or you don't feel competent enough to work there, there's countless companies you wouldn't even think of that need IT.
Yeah.
And that may not be a tech company on the face, but have great opportunities to advance your skills.
For sure.
But
I mean, I guess I'm glad that currently we're in both good spots, because before we started this podcast, I was like, like, oh no, man, like IT ain't doing it for me, and then it turned out to be a lot better. So I don't know.
IT ain't doing it for me, but let's start an IT podcast.
Yeah, I basically just wanted to vent about it, and I had to rein it in. Like, I'm not just gonna get online and like bitch and moan the whole time, you know? Like,
we just create a Reddit forum. IT sucks.
That's pretty funny. But I don't know. We're in good spots, and we don't hate our jobs anymore. Even
we don't hate our jobs.
There are moments where you come home and you're just like, man, let me tell you about some annoying stuff that happened today. But that happens in any job, so.
Yeah. Yeah, we're liking it. And honestly, we love this podcast so far, making it for you guys. And honestly, we really appreciate all the listens, the views, like, subscribe.
Oh, we have to say that now. I haven't been saying that. Like, smash that like button or that subscribe button, whatever one. Hit the bell for the notifications. Oh, we're YouTubers now.
We'll be keep creating content.
Where did that southern drawl come from?
I don't know.
Keep creating content. I'm Keegan Lassard. Signing off.
But yeah. And then you can always follow us on Twitter, Instagram, now Facebook at Dark Mode Podcast. Yeah. Called me out last time too. So
on stream, I was like, get out of here with that, man. This stuff isn't made. But all right, I guess we have a Facebook now, so smash that follow button or friend button or whatever. We're a business technically, so follow that page.
Yeah.
And then maybe you'll see some Dark Mode advertisements on your Instagram feed. You'll be scrolling.
Hey, there we go.
You'll see our two faces on there like, yeah, boys, listen to us go.
And as always, you can email us at darkmodepodcast, or not at darkmodepodcast@gmail.com. Send us some questions, ideas for the show, or if you just want to send us feedback, we appreciate any communication from you guys. And just keep listening.
Yeah. I mean, we said this before. If you don't tell us what we're doing wrong, we're just going to keep doing this.
We're just going to keep,
we're going to do it to the best that we think.
Worse.
But you'll come on here and maybe Keegan's audio will be even worse.
Yep. I'll record from like an iPhone AirPod or something.
I mean, hey, I recorded from my car once, so we're having fun. All right, that's going to do it for our episode this week, guys. We'll catch you next week.
See you next time.